Welcome back to another video, guys. It's Friday. Call of Duty releases today, so there's going to be a lot of fun around that. Everyone jumping in, playing the campaign, playing multiplayer. We have lots to talk about today, at least for me, before I get into playing Call of Duty, and that is stuff around Xbox with Phil Spencer visiting studios and getting some update tweets here for the games. We've seen some really good marketing for Call of Duty, and we see that continuing to expand out. Some Game Pass games. We have a release date for Game Pass, which is a pretty big game that just randomly got dropped in to the service, and many other updates here with a new game for Massive Entertainment. PlayStation Stars is getting a very weird change that I don't think is good for the people who are using that service, plus many other things. But before we continue, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, please hit the like button, share the video, subscribe if you are new here, and let me know what you think about the stuff we go over in today's video. Okay, so let's start off and talk about Phil Spencer with visiting studios, giving an update here on some games. Xbox has tons of games in the works. They have a huge pipeline of content that will be coming out in the next number of years with some major titles like Blade, Everwild, Fable, all of these games that will be coming out, dropping day one to Game Pass. It's going to be a continuous slate of first-party content if they're able to deliver these games on time. And then the hope is that they deliver high-quality products with these video games, and they don't make any more mistakes like they did with Redfall, which was releasing that in just an absolutely terrible state, specifically on the console versions of these games. But Phil Spencer now has been busy, and he has been name-dropping games and name-dropping studios following some recent visits. He puts this tweet out here. First of all, I mean, this is one of their biggest franchises that I think a lot of people kind of forget about, but that is Mojang and Minecraft. And he puts this tweet out here saying, "Great day at Mojang in Stockholm today, spending time with the studio and looking at all of the great things underway." He also puts this tweet out here saying, "Congrats to Arcane on the studio's 25th anniversary. Loved catching up and seeing your progress on Blade." Puts out this tweet here, "Great day at Rare, hanging out with the developers at their desks, playing Everwild." And for me, this is the most interesting one because Everwild is that game where there are a lot of questions. Just to be completely fair, we've heard about issues with the development, it kind of being in some sort of development hell state, but obviously that was a while ago and it's bounced back from that. Matt Booty also said that was kind of over exaggerated. So there is a lot of questions around this game. What exactly is it? What style of game is it? We've only seen those trailers, but because of the rumors that they've have to go back and change things, we're still waiting to see exactly what Everwild is. And I'm very excited for it. I mean, this is Rare's next big game after their just absolutely massive success of Sea of Thieves. And Phil Spencer's playing it, which means it's probably closer than we think in terms of at least seeing some gameplay of the game itself. Hopefully he's there checking it out, seeing the state it's in, and then being able to get an idea as to whether there will be a vertical slice or something that they can show off at the Xbox showcase in 2025. That's my hopes are. Fingers crossed that we do see Everwild, but lots of games in the works here, and that's just some of them. And he also was at Playground Games playing Fable and Horizon and everything, are talking about those games, and enjoyed spending time with everyone at Playground Games and catching up on Horizon and Fable. So just mentioning those and thinking about all the games in the works, plus all of the Activision Blizzard stuff. I mean, we just getting Call of Duty today. It is going to be a non-stop slate of games from Xbox in 2025 and beyond. Of course, if they can deliver on all the things that they have in development right now. So pretty exciting stuff there. I'm looking forward to everything that Xbox does have upcoming through the end of this year and into next year. All right, jumping over here, just some quick updates for your Xbox to just make the overall experience better. Discord is getting some improvements as well. Some mouse mapping for some controllers is also coming here to the Xbox Insider program, which eventually ends up landing on everybody's console. It says here, this is from Tom Moore, and he tweeted this out. Discord is getting better on Xbox again. A new update will enable direct voice calls from your Xbox for Discord DMs, available to alpha and skip ahead alpha testers today. And on top of that, there is going to be some updates to the mouse and keyboard support, saying you can now use your controller to move the mouse pointer and input mouse clicks in games and apps that support mouse input. To get started, check the Xbox Accessories app, select Configure, then create a new profile or edit an existing one. Set your thumbsticks to control the mouse, then you can set your desired buttons to left and right and middle click. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Just quality of life features. I don't know why you'd want to do that realistically by using your controller as a mouse and keyboard instead of just using a mouse and keyboard, but it is now available for you if that's something you are thinking of doing. And Discord on the consoles has been awesome. I mean, I use it all the time now. just jumping into chats with people who are playing on PC. It's great that they added this to console, something I thought they should have done for a while. And Xbox was the first console there to do it, and they're just continuing to make it better and basically giving you that full Discord experience on your console, which is always a great thing to see. Now, when it comes to Call of Duty marketing, and game is out now, and there's always this question about, are they marketing it correctly? Why aren't they pushing Game Pass more, at least on the Call of Duty channels, which they have actually put a full Game Pass ad on the actual Call of Duty X account, which is something I talked about earlier in the week. So it's not like they've done nothing there, but I think there is some stuff with the FTC where they kind of have to split it up between having Xbox market the Game Pass side of things and then the Call of Duty Activision side of things, just basically marketing Call of Duty. And maybe they don't want to mix up the messages because the game is out everywhere. But I don't really think it's going to have that big of an effect on the overall numbers. I think a lot of people know this is on Game Pass and it's still going to get people subscribing to Game Pass to check it out. But overall, the marketing, I think they've gone full force with it, and they've done a very, very good job with this campaign. And it's very powerful because if you look at Call of Duty over the years, the company that has had the marketing rights has had great success with the game compared to the platform that doesn't have it. Well, you can see some of the stuff here, of course. The whole collection now for Call of Duty Black Ops 6, that's what they're calling it. And you have the controller, the Elite controller, as well as the wrap for the Xbox itself. And I think these look very, very nice. You have this one here, Power Your Dreams, go rogue in 4K at 60 FPS with the Xbox Series X, and specifically showing off Call of Duty Black Ops 6 in there. What's interesting is they're also kind of pushing that digital white Xbox Series X instead of putting anything here with the Xbox Series S as well. Then they also have this, which is stream it day one with Xbox Cloud Gaming, and they're showing every single device that you can play. Now, I don't know how many people want to stream Call of Duty, especially if they're playing multiplayer. I can see if you want to just play the campaign, that will be completely fine, but probably not going to want to be streaming this game. If you're jumping into multiplayer matches, you're going to be at a pretty big disadvantage compared to people who are just playing it natively. And then, of course, you also have the Design Lab stuff with the controllers that they all already showed off. So they're doing tons of stuff, and they also have the replacer. It'll be super interesting to see just how much this does pay off for Xbox this year with them having the full marketing rights. Now, Game Pass always gets games dropping into the service out of nowhere. And this is one that we heard about, I believe, one of the shows, a smaller showcase earlier this year. I forget exactly where. Maybe it was in like a pre-show or something. But this is Sniper Elite Resistance, which is coming to Xbox Game Pass. And now we actually have the release timeframe, January 2025, for it to be releasing on the platform. And here is what the game is all about. It says the game offers unparalleled sniping mechanics, stealth, and tactical third-person combat. Players can also expect huge agency on how to complete your mission with optional kill list targets, multiple infiltration and extraction points, and side missions. And Sniper Elite Resistance also introduces propaganda missions. So this is a new thing in there. They say a brand new style of side mission to the series. Locate a unique propaganda poster in each of the main campaign's levels to unlock a propaganda mission where you become a resistance fighter. So pretty cool stuff here coming to Xbox Game Pass, so your Series X, your Series S, and the Xbox One on January 30th. The official release date is now there. And there's a lot of fans of this series, and I don't think this is the first one that's been on Game Pass, so we'll probably keep seeing these games drop into the service. They must be doing decently well to want to keep putting them on Xbox Game Pass. Okay, let's jump here. Let's talk about another subscription, and this is PlayStation Plus, but specifically PlayStation Stars. They are taking away a feature of PlayStation Stars for people who are spending money on PlayStation Plus subscriptions. Now, PlayStation Stars is like that answer to the Microsoft Rewards, where if you do certain things, you make purchases, you get points, and then you can spend those points on games and stuff within the PlayStation Network. One of the things people were spending money on to get points was PlayStation Plus subscriptions, and now that is done. They do say here that effective March 1st, 2025, the definition of eligible purchases will be updated to exclude all subscription payments made on PlayStation Store, including any initial or renewal subscription payments for PlayStation Plus or any other subscription service, which means that points will be no longer be earned on subscription payments. So there it is. If that was one of the way that you were earning most of your points, if you've just been enjoying PlayStation Plus and all the games that they have in there, you're not going to be getting PlayStation Stars anymore with that purchase. All right, we have a bunch of other things here, more looking at like some sales and smaller games that are coming out. We have Yooka Replaylee, which was only coming to PC initially when they announced it. It's the, I guess, remaster of Yooka-Laylee, which is a pretty fun game. But it is coming to you now, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and the Nintendo platforms. They did put out this official announcement here, and they make that confirmation that it is going to be coming to the platforms itself. They say, according to the studio, the game will be released on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and Nintendo platforms, implying a version will be coming to both the Switch and its yet unannounced successor. And I think that is the bigger thing from this announcement, is that they basically here are confirming the Nintendo Switch 2, which we haven't got an official announcement from Nintendo yet, but Yooka Replaylee is saying the Nintendo platforms, which right now there's one with the Switch. So it's going to be the Switch 2. And this game does not have an official release date yet, which is unfortunate because that could kind of give away the Switch 2 release date, but they're probably waiting on that. A lot of it probably has to do as well with the Switch 2 and the potential release date that Nintendo wants to keep secret. So we'll see when the Switch 2 eventually does get announced. It will be coming out sooner rather than later. I mean, they're still out there trying to get the record to beat the PS2, which I think they will get. All right, we'll talk about this here because Croc, The Legends of Gobos is pretty cool. It's a remaster of the original Croc games, which are awesome games back in the day. The one thing that is interesting about this one is will be exclusive to the GOG store. And this is one thing with PCs, you have so many different options, but GOG has definitely been out there as one of the leading voices in actually letting you know that you own the games that you do purchase off of that store itself. We have seen a lot of controversy here around Steam and other platforms that basically tell you, hey, you don't own this game when you buy it. It is just a license. And even if you have spent $100 on a game or something, it can be taken away because it could be expired, may not be able to access it to it and all of that stuff. So GOG now is taking the reign here and trying to get, I guess, some more exclusive stuff, and they're getting Croc Legend of the Gobos, which is the remaster of that OG game. A phenomenal game back in the day. It is also coming to PS5, Xbox Series XS, Switch, PS4, and the Xbox One. We have here Tales of Kenzera Zhao's developer Surgent Studios. So this is kind of a bigger story than you would expect, and that is just because of the whole culture wars recently surrounding this game, which I think is pretty absurd about this one. Like, I'm playing it. The whole culture wars around Tales of Kenzera Zhao made me go ahead and download it and play it and try it out and see if it really deserves anything that it is getting in terms of the negativity surrounding it. And the answer is absolutely not. It's a fun game. It's an original story. There's no changing of narratives or agenda pushing on stories that have already been written or characters that have already been created. So I don't fully understand some of the arguments around this game in terms of the negative side of things. So it's cool to see here that they are just kind of pushing through, and they're going to be making an Afro-Gothic RPG inspired by Planescape Torment. So this is their next game, and they are looking for funding. This was what kind of kicked off, I would say, the whole discussion around this game was that Tales of Kenzera Zhao did not do well enough to get funding for a sequel or to get funding for their next game. It was an EA Originals, and obviously EA just doesn't see the profitability in that, so they let it go. And now they're looking for another publisher to come out here and fund this game so they can go ahead and make it. And they say here that the best way I can describe it is a single-player isometric Afro-Gothic action RPG, which sounds really cool. I mean, it does kind of remind me, just from how they're explaining this, as The Ascent. That's kind of what I'm thinking about in my mind with this game, is what it will be like. So the story with Zhao is that as a shaman, you're challenging the god of death as a way of looking at the idea of healthy handling grief. So I came up with the idea of what if one reader is inspired to defy death itself. So they create this android, which is fashioned to cradle the spirit of dead. And I mean, that sounds pretty cool to me. So hopefully this game does get funded so we can see what it is all about. And again, Tales of Kenzera Zhao, it is a fun game. It is fun. It's a good Metroidvania. It's not perfect, but no way that it is a bad game, which is what I thought it was going to be when I was seeing some of the hatred towards it for, I think, absolutely really no reason. But we'll continue on here, and we'll talk about College Football 25, which is back. I mean, college football games are back now, and it has taken the sports gaming world by storm. College Football 25 is now the all-time best-selling video game in the United States. Matt Piscatella puts this out. EA Sports College Football 25 is now the all-time best-selling football game in the US dollar sales. The record was previously held by Madden NFL 07, and EA Sports College Football 25 now ranks number 2 among all sports games in US dollar sales, trailing only NBA 2K21. So pretty successful. It's a very, very fun football game. These improvements, of course, it is the first iteration in the series in I think a decade, but it is fun. It's better than Madden, and I just hope they keep it up and keep giving good college football games from EA. I think this is the first decent football game from EA in a very, very long time. A couple more things here. Undisputed, which is finally a new boxing game. I mean, if you're a fan of the Fight Night series, which is what I was, seeing this come out is great because it is kind of back in that realm, and it is doing well. It's already sold 1 million units in its first week. It did just recently release on consoles, so doing well. I think this is absolutely going to trigger EA to make a new Fight Night game, which is great to see. It's going to bring the competition here for boxing games. They're going to see the success of this, and they're going to want to cash in on that. And finally, one of my favorite developers overall, and it's also at Ubisoft, is Massive Entertainment. I love their world building. Star Wars Outlaws, they built an amazing world. Avatar, they built an amazing world. The Division, I think I enjoy that world as well. I think they do a really good job of building detailed worlds, and they are apparently out here making another game, not Tom Clancy, not The Division, just another game with a different IP that we don't know about. This is a post saying, we are looking for an animation director, engine technical director, and technical animator director for an unannounced project. So they're looking for stuff, they're hiring, they're ramping up to build this game, which is kind of interesting, kind of surprising because of what we have heard. There's so much doom and gloom around Ubisoft. You would think they would only be cutting back. They wouldn't be going out there and making a new game. And Massive is the one that creates Star Wars Outlaws, which did not meet the sales expectations. So to hear that they're hiring and they're getting greenlit to make new stuff is kind of surprising at this point in time. But I'll end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. We'll be right back.